Hello, today we're going to learn how to add pizzazz to pictures in Photoshop. The first thing that you need to do is open the file you wish to punk up. That image is on the left with the purple background. And the way we're going to add creative control is by using some textures. One way to find textures is to create your own, and some suggestions for that would be photographing wrinkled paper bags, painted walls, wood beams, stainless steel roasting pans, branches against the sky, or anything that you think would make a good texture. These are some textures that I shot today, but for today's exercise, we're going to use a texture that I purchased. Now, sometimes when you purchase textures, they've already been tweaked, and it saves you the time from doing so. So that's one of the reasons why I'm using this one. So to get started, we first compare the images to see if they have the same resolution, which this one is at 240, and the texture is also at 240. So we're good to go with resolution, and I'm going to select all of the textured file with a Command A and then paste it into the designated file with Command V. Now I'm getting a color profile alert, but because I'm going to be edit color, I'm going to okay this. But if you need to be more specific and have screen match profiles, you would have to ensure that you made both color spaces identical. This is going to paste the texture into the frame. Now, as you can see, it doesn't cover the whole space. So one way to correct that is to go to the Transform tool under Edit and scale the file to cover the entire file of the underlying layer. And once you're happy with its placement, click Return. And basically now you've added a layer. And under the Layers palette, you can see that there are two layers there. But what I'm going to do is just take away this first one and work with only one layer. So because we can't see anything, now is this under the drop-down menu is where you begin to apply the different effects. I'm going to go to Screen, and then I'm going to adjust how much I want the layer to take effect. So it's looking pretty cloudy. I'm not sure if I like that, so I would go to experiment with some of the choices in that drop-down menu to see which effect is what I'm looking for. Now that looks too much like a poster. That doesn't look too bad. That actually might be okay, but I think I'm going to go back to the soft light and pump up the opacity here, and now compare the two by going to my file history. So this is what we just did, and this is the original file. So it's a huge change. It picked up all of the magenta, and it brought out the red in the hair and the red in the product, which was part of the assignment. So I'm happy with that. But the only thing that I'm not happy with now is that the texture on her face, I want to see her face normally. So there are two ways of doing this. One way is by using the Erase tool in the tool menu in the toolbar here, and just erasing out the parts that you don't want. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'll just pick the size of the eraser tool by adjusting the sliders here and adjusting the opacity here, and taking away the layer from the areas that I don't want to see. Now remember, a lot of this is subjective, so if it's looking like it looked better the other way, well, that's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. But for the purpose of the exercise here, I just wanted to show how to selectively apply a texture. Now, that was before, and this is after. Now I'm going to remove the texture from the garment because it looks too blotchy there. But overall, I'm liking the effect, and I'm just going to apply some levels by lightening it up so that it's not so contrasty. Now I'm applying the level adjustment to the texture level, and that's doing a very nice job. Now again, to compare the two, this is where we're at now, and this was the original. Now you can repeat this process until you're happy, but that's essentially the gist of how to apply a layer. Now there's one other way. There's several of other ways that you can make adjustments. You could also selectively pick areas with the lasso tool and apply just within that space. So there's that layer. Photoshop affords you a very fine tuning to right down to the radius of the pixel, which you could easily control under Image, select, modify, feather, or select, modify, these tools here will create a smooth, or if you wanted to make it bigger, expand, make it smaller, contract, or refine edge gives you an even greater level of adjustments. This actually shows you where you've selected, and this is a very good thing to toggle back and forth with. But I'm not doing anything with that now. But I just wanted to show you the many different ways of applying a texture. Now, another adjustment that you can do to your image is by using an app. And the app that I wanted to show you today is called Snapseed. So this app is available on iTunes for, I think it's $1.99. So basically, you just drag your image into the window and play with the different effects on the left. So I'm going to pick drama because I wanted to show you how it will do a global correct. And in this instance, it lightened everything up, and it really provided a very nice, almost backlight effect to the background, which I really like quite a bit. And what you can do with an app like this is apply an effect like that, save the file, and then with the saved file, go back into Photoshop and do your fine-tuning there. Any of these textures you can do over and over again until you're happy with the end result. So don't be afraid to create your own layers and create your own textures by photographing things that are right within your eye's view. And don't be afraid to experiment on the desktop, to get the effect that you see, and especially if the client is giving you the direction for something specific. Now with this shoot, the client really wanted a hint of color, but also wanted it to look black and white. So this was the end result, this file, which was a combination of Snapseed and Photoshop and textures by going back and forth, which I think it succeeded. It really accentuates the hair, and the backdrop just glows from behind. And the client was very happy with it. These are various iterations of both Snapseed and Photoshop. Now, sometimes you can get a little crazy, like this one appears. If her arms weren't so red, I might like it. I really love the halo effect. That halo is an effect that you can do in Photoshop, but you can also do here in Snapseed. I think it's in center focus. So watch what happens. You see, you get this glow, and you can control it by darkening it. That's how I got it. So you could make her face really bright, or in this case, because it's the hair, you can accentuate the product and blur out everything else. So there's lots of different things. This is very popular. It's similar to Instagram, but you have to treat these tools a little bit trepidatiously. Don't go too crazy with it. But I think you'll be able to get an end result that you can be pleased with. I hope this demonstration helped you to see there's no harm in experimenting with your files. Always remember to save your file as a different name, because your original file is the one and only. So if you make all of these changes and you save over to that file name, you will have lost the raw data. So always save as a different name so that you preserve the integrity of the original file. Thank you very much.